Never Hike Alone is a Friday the 13th short fan film released on YouTube in 2017. It was directed by Vincent DeSanti, who also plays Jason in this. It stars Andrew Lady, Katie Schwatters, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, Katie, and Robert Dubois. It was uploaded by the channel Womp Stomp Films. Let's get started. The premise revolves around a vlogger, Kyle MacLeod, I think I'm saying that right, played by Lady, who films his venture on a trail that leads him to Camp Crystal Lake. Now, Kyle is familiar with the stories about this place, since his brother would scare him with them when they were young. Of course, he's skeptical until he starts to notice some disturbing evidence that may prove the legends are true, and the real terror begins when he comes face to face with the horror icon himself. I really like the way this short film was executed. I mean, when you think about it, it's a pretty simple premise. It's just a guy going on a hiking trip who ends up encountering a mass murderer. However, even if you're not quite familiar with the Friday the 13th franchise, it's still a very nerve-wracking story due to the fact that the main character just didn't read the title of the short. So, of course, he's forced to fend for himself, which ultimately gave you a feel of just how vulnerable he truly is. He is in the middle of nowhere, and the chances of someone saving him from Jason are 0 to none. I give Promise a B+. It's a pretty straightforward one, but it's executed beautifully, and the suspense as to what might happen to Kyle is almost unbearable. Next is acting. I think it's safe to say Andrew Lady deserves a little more recognition for it. His acting is just so authentic because he doesn't try to force anything. At first, he just acts as though he's going on a normal hiking trip. He doesn't try to act nervous or doesn't rant about whether he'll see Jason or not. As far as he's concerned, this is normal. However, his fear slowly grows with the disturbing secrets he discovers at the camp. His terror was very gradual because of this, and I think that actually ended up working for the best, because instead of screaming, he just has an expression of terror as he tries to wrap his head around what happened at this camp. Also, the scene where he's tearfully telling his parents that he loves them in case they never see him again did admittedly tug some heartstrings. I give acting an A-, and I hope to see Andrew in more stuff. Finally, directing. Vincent DeSanti not only did a fine job playing the hockey player who doesn't play hockey, but he also did a good job of making you realize just how vulnerable Kyle is and making you fear for his safety. I also like how he experimented with the Jaws effects, where he spent the whole film just dedicated to building Jason up as the sinister threat as opposed to showing him. In fact, you only catch him for a few seconds from time to time before he just disappears. And I feel that was a good decision on his part, since it made Jason's eventual reveal so much more menacing, since we've gotten a chance to be reminded just what Jason is capable of thanks to the tales of him coming back and taking vengeance for his death. I also love the nods Vincent put throughout the series in this short. I give directing an A+. Very well made short. This actually felt like a theatrical film in some areas, and it's amazing that you can find this kind of stuff on YouTube. And that kind of gives me hope, since it reminds me that YouTube is a great place for those starting out in film and whatnot. In fact, both Vivzy Pop and Vincent have made quite the name for themselves just from their work on YouTube alone. Overall, Never Hike Alone is a good film for people who love the Friday the 13th franchise, as well as people who love a genuinely scary and genuinely suspenseful survival horror story. The acting is astonishingly good due to the fact that it doesn't force anything and yet still manages to be very impactful, and it's also genuinely scary at times. Like, there were times when I was genuinely scared for Kyle's safety, like when he's in that mess hall or whatever it is, tending that wound while it was nighttime, keep in mind, and Jason is crawling outside. I really didn't expect the short to get that chilling. I give Never Hike Alone an A-. It was a genuinely good short that had me on the edge of my seat. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and sub for more content.